online and go through our application procedure. Blue Galaxy is going to help you out with this. Okay. The application procedure is totally online. So what we do is we ask you to give us the information on yourself, like not only name, family name and everything, but also like documentation like CV, motivation letter, and these kind of things. And once you have submitted your application, then depending on which level and which subject you're applying for, then it's going to take from minimum 2 to maximum 6 weeks for us to give you a feedback, okay? To tell you yes or no, okay? The application the deadline for the application is the end of this month. So if you have not done it yet, I strongly suggest you to apply before the end of this month, okay? One more thing is that you can apply for up to 3 degree programs at one time, okay? So one student can apply for 3 degree programs. So, for example, some of you would like to study for a master's degree in the economics area, okay? You can, maybe you like accounting and finance, okay? But you can apply for accounting and finance or economics and finance and economics and and business administration, for example, okay? One more thing, okay, I'm going to tell you how this guide works, okay? Here in the blue section, you have the list of all of our degree programs at the bachelor level, okay? So, pretty much like students from 18, 19 years old, okay? Just who are in the last year of high school should be looking at this page. Then the green section is the full list of our master programs, okay? So students who are in the last year of bachelor university, yes, bachelor programs, okay? Yeah. Then, if you turn the page again, you see the list of all of our English taught programs. So it's going to be easier for you to pick according to the language, okay? So, for example, as you can see, if you turn the page again, you see that at the bachelor level, we have only 4 programs entirely taught in English, okay? If you turn the page again, you see that at the master level, you have more options, okay, in terms of English taught programs, okay? Then, let's speak about requirements, okay? Okay, generally speaking, we have 3 basic kind of requirements. The first is a higher education certificate. What do they mean? If you are applying for a bachelor program, you need to have a high school certificate. You don't need to have it now, okay? Because we know that you still attending school, so you don't have this certificate yet. But you can provide it later, so don't worry about it. If you're applying for a master, then you need to have a university bachelor certificate or diploma, okay? And again, you don't need to have it now. You can provide it later, okay? Second requirement, language certificate. So if you're applying for a program which is taught in English, you need to have B2 level of English, which is between 5.0 to 5.5 IELTS, more or less. Obviously, we accept IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge, all the major certificates. So, Okay, but the equivalence is 5.0 to 5.5 IELTS. Okay. If you choose a degree program which is taught in English, you don't need to know Italian at all. Okay. Of course, it will be better for you if you know some Italian, because you have to live in Italy and you have to deal with Italians. So anyway, don't worry, because if you study in English, you can learn or improve your Italian at our school, at our university. It's almost free, like it's about 100 euros for 1 year to learn or improve your Italian. Italian language classes are for international students. Okay? If you intend to apply for a degree program, bachelor or master, doesn't matter, which is taught in Italian, you need to have a B2 level of Italian. And that's also for the English certificate. You need to have the certificate before you come to Italy. Especially, not only for us, but especially for the consulate, for obtaining the study visa to come to Italy. Okay? Then, and that's the third kind of requirement, which is not mandatory, but depends on the degree program. So you see, for example, here it's written limited admission. Okay. So only some degree programs have limited admission. For example, at the bachelor level, at page 11, okay, at the bachelor level, if you see economics and business, foreign trade, business administration, etc., all of them have limited admission. If you see at the end of the page, like history, conservation of cultural heritage and performing arts management, they don't have limited admission. What's the difference? The difference is that if a degree program has limited admissions, that means that you have to go through a Skype interview in order to be admitted to that degree program. If there is no limited admission, you don't have to go through any interview. It's easier. The interview is not difficult, but still you have to go through that. No? And that's why, as I said before, it takes for us from minimum 2 up to 6 weeks to give you feedback on your application. Because, for example, if you're applying for a bachelor degree with no limited admission, which we call open admission, then it's very easy, because you don't have to go through a Skype interview, so it takes less time for us to evaluate your application. So in that case, it's 2 weeks. On the contrary, if you're applying for a master degree with limited admission, in that case, it takes more time for us, because we need to evaluate your educational background, and also we need to ask you to sit a Skype interview, so it takes longer. So it takes up to 6 weeks. Okay? But the most important requirement, probably, is for those students who are applying for a master program. Okay? In that case, what we also check is that you have the required knowledge to attend the master degree you're applying for. What I mean? The meaning of this is that, for example, you have a degree in history at the university here in Vietnam, and you apply for a master degree in my university in economics. No, that's very difficult, you know, because you don't have the knowledge required to attend classes. Another example, you have studied management here in Vietnam, and you're applying for economics in Venice. okay, it's very close. So in that case, it's 80% no problem, 90% no problem. Okay? Or even better, you have studied, I don't know, art here, and you apply for art in Venice, perfect, no problem. Okay? Having said this, of course, we need also to check your language skills, like the certificates I told you already about, and all the other things. But that's the main issues we need to check. So keep in mind that you need to apply before the end of this month. You need to provide us with some documentation, CV, motivation letter, and everything. All the application process is online. Even if there is an interview, it's a Skype interview, so you don't need to move from your chair or from your desktop, right? So everything is very easy. My advice is for you to try to apply. Okay? You have nothing to lose. Also, this year we have 100 scholarships for international students, including, of course, Vietnamese students, right? So this is to say that, and they know that we have this, I mean, Joe Galaxy and Giovanni, they all know that we have these scholarships. So the scholarship is, in other words, a tuition fee waiver. Tuition fee waiver means that if you get this, if you are selected, you don't pay tuition fees in my university. Is that clear? Tuition fees for any student, Italian, European, Vietnamese, Korean, Brazilian, it's all the same for everybody. It's about 2,000 euros per year. But if you get the scholarship, the tuition fee waiver, let's call it tuition fee waiver, it's not proper scholarship, you don't pay tuition fees for the first year. The second year, you need to have earned at least 42 credits out of 60 during the first year. It's not a big requirement, because 1 year in the European system equals to 60 credits. So we ask you to earn at least 42 in order to keep the scholarship. So it's not a big requirement, you know. Very
60%.
Yeah. Yeah.
2,000.
So should be doable for you, I hope. Okay. On top of this, once you are in Italy, once you are in Venice, you can also apply for the regional government scholarship. But in that case, we are not responsible for that, because it's the regional government in Italy responsible of that. So I can't tell you whether it's easy or not easy, or you know, depends also on your financial situation at home and many different things. But
it's up to the family interest. But usually the Vietnamese family interest in the family is lower than the European system, so
yeah,
it's more or less 100% when the documentation is okay and accepted by the consulate is okay for
yeah,
the students. So.
Yeah. So my advice to you is, once you are in Italy, also apply for this scholarship. It's gonna be, you know, again, you have nothing to lose. And again, my advice to you is to apply to my university, and then, I mean, if you are accepted, and maybe even better if you get the scholarship, it's always your choice to come or not to come. You know, you have nothing to lose. This is the meaning. You are always in time to change your mind and everything. So maybe you are not only you're accepted, but maybe you get also the tuition fee waiver. You are selected for the tuition fee waiver. So you might end up getting a university diploma, a university degree from Europe for free. You know, you just have to pay for your own food and accommodation. That's it. Accommodation, as I said, My advice would be for you to choose, maybe, you know, even better. If there is a group of students coming from Blue Galaxy, then we will talk to Blue Galaxy, and the best thing to do would be for you to book an apartment to share between 4 or 5 people coming from Blue Galaxy. This is going to be much easier, you know, because otherwise if you come one by one, it's going to be very difficult to find a suitable accommodation, especially because you don't speak the language, or maybe you speak it but not at a very good level, and you will have to deal with Italian landlords who usually don't speak Italian, don't speak even Italian probably, but they don't speak English. So it's going to be...
And you have to find out some other students to
Yes,
stay together in the
yes.
same apartment. So it's
Having said that, we have a housing office at our university that will take care of you, will help you to find an accommodation. But in my opinion, if say 8 people, 16 people, I don't know how many students will come from Blue Galaxy, let us know, then we will speak to Blue Galaxy, and probably we can book 1, 2, 3 apartments for you to share. This is going to be, at least for the first 6 months, one year, it's going to be, then you can, you know, you can go elsewhere, you can choose where to go while you are in Italy. Then, you know, maybe you make new friends and you want to live with Italian people, or with Italian students, or with foreign students. That's your choice. But for the very first year, it's going to be better for you to share a flat or an apartment. We also have student residences, but in my opinion, I mean, you can apply for that also. In my opinion, it's not very convenient because it's more difficult for many different reasons. You cannot cook your own food there, so you probably have to go most of the times to eat outside, like in university canteens and, you know, bars, restaurant, whatever. So maybe you spend more, you waste more money, so to speak. So, and also the cost of this accommodation is relatively more expensive compared to a private flat in Mestre. Okay. The last option is, so the first option is private apartment in Mestre, or even in Venice if you want to live in Venice. Second option is the student residences. Third option is hotel stay. Hotel is going to be expensive, more expensive, but you can stay there for, say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and in the meanwhile you look for something that you like in Venice. That's the third option. In my opinion, that's going to cost about, let me think, it's going to be about 500 euros for 3 weeks in a shared double room. Okay. In the first 3 weeks, maybe you can share, again, if you come together with a group of other students from Ho Chi Minh, you can share the room with someone else that you know, and in the meanwhile, in these 3 weeks, you can find like another accommodation with the support of our housing office, so you can go and look for an accommodation that you like. So these are basically the 3 options that you have in terms of accommodation. Let me tell you something else about internships and placement opportunities. In our university, it's mandatory to carry out an internship in a private company. Okay, so if you don't do that, you don't get the degree. Very simple. Okay? It's minimum minimum 3 weeks up to about 2 months. Okay, this is also a very good opportunity for you to get some work experience while you're studying, you know, and to very good opportunity also to, you know, to know some people in a private company that maybe after could offer you some job opportunities, maybe, who knows. We have an office called Internship and Placement Office that will help you to find a company where to carry out this internship and placement opportunity. And we have company partners from all around the world, not only from Venice, not only from Italy, but also in France, in the UK, in Germany, in Japan, in China, in the US, anywhere. So you can go anywhere, literally, to do your placement and internship period, right? Also, if you go to, but do you all have this guide, this small one? If you need to have a broader idea of how much it's gonna cost to live in Venice, okay, you go to page 7, and there is a sort of scheme. So tuition fees, it's about 2,000 euros per year, but as I said, if you get the tuition fee waiver, you don't pay these 2,000 euros. Then accommodation, it's for a single room 300, 400 euros. For a place in a shared double room, it's 200, 250. But as I said, this is in central Venice. As I said, if you go and live in Mestre, it's going to be cheaper. About 150 to 200 euros for one place. And then other living costs like food, it's 50 to 80 euros per week, more or less. Okay? What else? Here, as I said before, you have the list of our bachelor programs. You can check if there is a limited admission and in which languages these programs are taught. So, if, in terms of languages, if the languages, it's IT/English, like in the first degree program, economics and business, this means that you can choose either to study this program entirely in Italian or to study this program entirely in English. That's up to you. If, for example, the second one, foreign trade, it's written only IT, means that this program is taught only in Italian. And the fourth one, digital management, EN, means it's taught only in English. Sorry, now that I just read digital management. Digital management is a brand new program. Okay, it's the fourth one, page 10 and 11. And what I have just said goes for all the programs, but not for digital management. Digital management is something on the side, because we run this program together with a private company. So the cost of this program is much more expensive. The cost of this program is not 2,000 euros, it's 7,500 euros. And we don't have tuition fee waivers for this program. So yeah, just consider these things, okay?
Forgot
it. And the same goes for the list of master degree programs, okay? Let me also, okay, for example, I give you an idea, a more practical example. Marketing and communication. This degree program is taught both. You can choose by studying entirely in Italian or entirely in English. Why? Because we have two different pathways, which we call curriculum in English also. So the first one, it's marketing and communication, and it's taught in Italian. And the second one, it's innovation and marketing, and that's taught in English. So if you want to study this program in Italian, then you study marketing and communication, and you choose the curriculum marketing and communication. If you want to study this program in English, you choose marketing and communication, and you choose innovation and marketing, like a sort of subject. I don't know whether this is clear or not. Anyway, in the application system, which is online, as I said before, apply.unive.it, there's the full list of our degree programs with the curriculum associated to them, and the language in which each curriculum and each degree program is taught. So it's going to be impossible to make a wrong selection. Okay? You just need to check that that program is taught in the language that you wish to study in. That's it. Okay. What else? Do you have any specific question, maybe? Yeah.
So, I have a small question
Yeah.
about the language to study. I'm really keen on Italian,
Mm-hmm.
and if I choose to study in Italian, what is the different pathway for the career path? That means that if I choose to study in Italian,
Mm-hmm.
do I get easier to find job, or is that totally different from English? And the secondly, because like Italian is more a language when compared to other European languages, so
It's more?
it's like the group of the people speak Italian. It's just Italy
Yeah,
and a small part of
yeah.
Switzerland. So concerning of study languages like Spanish or French or
Mhm.
German, is
Mhm.
get more advantages. So
Mm-hmm.
so in terms of my question is that if I choose to study Italian, that the opportunity I have will be how scale the how large it is, and the advantage of Italian and the job opportunities when
Okay.
choosing Italian to study.
Okay. I
Thế
feel
đúng
that.
không? Anh thấy nó đâu?
Are you already studying Italian at the moment or not?
I've been researching and studied online a little
Okay.
bit, yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm really confused about Spanish and
Mhm.
Italian.
Because they're very close,
Yes.
the one to the other. Yeah. My advice to you would be to study in Italian. Why? Because you speak English already. So learning Italian and studying Italian will give you more opportunities. Well, if you didn't know English at all, I would have suggested you to study in English. Because of course it's more widely known, and it's more how to say, it's more popular than Italian. But since you already know English, then if you study in Italian at the end of your degree at university, you could tell your future employers that you speak, of course, you speak Vietnamese, you speak English, and you speak Italian. No? See this guy here, Giovanni, the one that just he speaks Italian better than mine. Really?
Really?
Really. He lived in Italy for so many years. This will be an advantage for you. Why? Because only on a condition that you already speak English, of course. Because you could, there's not so many people
Yes.
speaking Vietnamese and Italian
That's
and
my
English.
concern.
So you could focus, you could pursue a career in, I don't know, doing some sort of relationship between Vietnam and Italy. there's not so many people. There's so many people speaking English, but there's only few people speaking Italian, as you just said. So my advice would be for you to, well, you can even do like this. You can even study in English. At the same time, if you study in my university a degree program which is taught in English, you can still learn Italian. See what I mean?
Yes.
So up to you. Anyway, my advice would be for you to study in Italian. But if you have studied if you have studied Italian so far only online, I'm afraid you will not have you know, the language level we require for you to enter the university, because the entry requirements in terms of Italian language and also English language are not that high, but are not even low. It's a B2. B2, you know, it's
enough qualified.
Enough qualified, yes, precisely. So, when would you like to start the university? In September this year, or?
Yeah, I want to start as soon as possible.
Okay, in that case, let me give you another advice, which is different from the one that I gave you before, because I didn't know that you don't know Italian.
Yeah.
So in that case, I would choose a program, degree program, which is taught in English, because you have no problems in speaking English and understanding English. But at the same time, while in Italy, I would attend Italian language classes for beginners in my university. We offer them almost for free. It's only 100 euros for 1 year. So that's my advice. Anyway, at the end of your study, you will be speaking English, of course, but also Italian. And you could write down that on your CV. It's gonna look good.
So it will be easier to get a job if I have Italian when I look for a job in Italy.
Yeah. You need. Well, it's not that you need necessarily, but you know, it's highly recommended. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I forgot to say before is that once you graduate from my university and any university in the EU, you are allowed to stay in the EU for 1 more year. Okay. So after you graduate, you have 1 more year to look for a job in not only in Italy but in any EU countries. Okay. So even say if you go to study in France, you still have 1 more year after you graduate to stay in the EU, in any country, and look for a job. So that's something quite important, I think, for you to know. Also, while you study, you're allowed to start to work for up to 20 hours a week, and you are allowed to earn up to 5,000 euros a year. And this is EU law. Okay, so this is also to say that you are allowed to work while you study. Maybe some part-time jobs or something like that. More questions?
Okay, I have questions like because you have. Firstly, thank you very much for your very detailed presentations. Because like it's almost covered all of my questions.
I think I've met you, no?
No.
No, sorry, I'm confusing with someone else.
Yes, and my questions is like because you said that we can apply in the same time for 3 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. The conditions you apply, for example, like I have the bachelor diploma in marketing, but I have the same. I have the interest in the global development and entrepreneurship. So is it possible for me to apply both of them, like marketing and?
Sure.
Sure. And so, for example, like
to be honest with you, your chances are higher here than in global in the other program. But I don't see many problems also for the other programs.
Yeah, because, like I mean that I want to apply for 2 degrees at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah. So like in the time that I studying, so for example, like we have some similar credits, so is it possible that we skip the similar credits, right?
What do you mean?
In the like
Transfer the
marketing?
credit.
Yeah, transfer the credit.
Transfer the credit from
Learn
Vietnamese
the
university.
same credits, so that's why when we start studying in Italia, can we like eliminate the credit? So
But-
we have to study it again.
Oh, I see. Well, no, because you studied that at the bachelor level, right?
Yes. Oh no, I mean right. I mean like for example, in the master of the marketing, we have the 10 credits, and the entrepreneurship we have the 10 credits. But in that 10 credit, we have the 5 same credit for the marketing. So can we skip that 5 credit, or we have to
No.
study full the curriculum?
No. You cannot skip them. 1 year in the EU system equals 60 credits. Okay, so for a master degree, it's total 120 credits. Okay, so if you have done that course at the bachelor level, you know it's a different level, you know.
I think
So,
the
but-
educational system in Vietnam and Europe is totally different from the hour per credit. So I think it's quite difficult to transfer, even if they two university both sign a contract about the transfer.
Yeah, and again, you have studied that course at the bachelor level, right, or at the master level?
In Vietnam, I just like the bachelor level. But I mean like the same credit between the curriculum. We study master marketing in the...
Because it's 4 years in Vietnam, right?
Yeah,
No, the bachelor is 4 years.
yeah, 4 years.
That's why you want to transfer credits, right?
You want to study, reapply for bachelor.
I mean like, is it the marketing level in the Italy only? I don't mention anything about like my diploma, bachelor diploma.
No, you need to tell us what you have studied.
Yeah, I studied the marketing.
Yeah, but also the syllabus and everything. You know, you need to tell us your marks.
I mean,
You need to provide all the detailed information about your bachelor degree.
yeah, sure. But like, my question is about like the same credit in the curriculum at the master marketing and master entrepreneurship in your university. So like we can transfer the credit between the...
You can transfer the credits only on one condition. For example, you're studying at the master level here, first year, and you wanna transfer to my university for the second year. Okay? In that case, we look at what credits you have already earned in your university in Vietnam, and we see how many credits we can acknowledge that you have already earned here.
Không nói tiếng Việt đi.
Có nghĩa là bạn đang học master bên đây rồi đúng không?
Không, vậy là chị tức là em muốn hỏi là ví dụ như trong cái chương trình á, em muốn học cả hai cái degree của bên chương trình của Ý luôn, nhưng mà cái marketing và cái entrepreneurship thì ví dụ như là có 10 cái credit á, thì nó có 5 cái credit trùng nhau, thì em chỉ cần học một lần thôi đúng không, hay là em phải học cả 2 lần?
Là
Dạ.
bằng kép.
Double degree.
Okay.
She
She wants to learn double degree.
Oh, okay,
Alright.
that's a different thing.
Yes.
Double degree.
Yes.
Double degree.
We have double degrees,
Yeah.
but not with your university, I'm afraid.
No, she means that if she choose two degree in your university, study at the same time.
No, that's not possible. That's not possible. Oh, study at the same time?
Yeah,
No. You should. Okay, it's like this. You study one degree.
yeah.
You get one degree. For example, you get the degree in marketing and communication. Okay. Then you want to get one more degree. After 2 years, after you get this degree, you want to study for an additional degree, global business and entrepreneurship. Fine. In that case, for the second degree, we can transfer the credits. Yes. But first you need to get this degree.
We cannot study to
Not at the same time, no.
Because in university in Vietnam,
Uh-huh.
some university offer study 2 or 3 degrees at the same time. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's
But
not.
I think it's different.
No,
from Europe.
in Europe you cannot do that. No.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I didn't understand that because I didn't know that in Vietnam you could do that, you know. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you said that you can apply for 3 degrees,
No,
so I can
apply.
Apply, just apply.
Just apply. Then,
accepted, right?
yeah. Yeah. Then, you, for example, you apply for 3 degrees,
Yes.
and maybe you are accepted for all 3 degrees, or maybe you are accepted only for 1 and rejected for 2, or you know, and then depending on what's the result of your application, then you decide.
Yeah.
But I see, yes, have double degrees.
Yes, but double degree means in the European system means that we have a partner university in a foreign country, and at the end of that degree, you study in Italy and you study at our partner university abroad. Okay. Say for example, we have double degree in marketing and communication.
Yeah.
The double degree is with the University of Paris, which is a very good university. So you are required to study all in all for 2 years because it's a master degree. But you will study 1 year and a half in Venice and 6 months in Paris. Okay. At the end, you will have a degree which is a double degree because you will have a degree from my university, so from Italy, and you will have a degree also from the university in Paris, so from France. You know, in that case, this is gonna look very good, even better on your CV, because you will have a degree from Italy and a degree from France.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be quite interesting, in my opinion, to you. Anyway, in order to be selected, it works like this. First of all, you need to be accepted in my university for that degree program. Then, once you are accepted, you apply for the double degree. There's there are 2 selection processes. First, you enter my university, and then you apply for double degree. And if you are accepted, then you know you go for that. You study for that double degree. I mean, the subject is the same. It's only that it's taught in part at our university and in part at the partner university. No.
Is your university a member of Erasmus Mundus program?
Of course, yeah. Oh yeah, in terms of opportunities to go abroad, I mean, you will have so many opportunities. We have more than 500 Erasmus partnerships in Europe, and we have about 150 university partners all around the world, including 2 universities here in Vietnam. One is Hanoi University, and the other one is
Ho Chi Minh
Yeah.
University,
yeah.
District 9.
But we are partnered with many universities in the US, Japan, Korea, China, of course in the UK. So you can, during your experience in Venice, you can decide to go abroad, and we give you support, financial support to go abroad. There are 2 main programs to go abroad: Erasmus and what we call overseas. Overseas is not in Europe, Erasmus is in Europe, but they're pretty much the same thing. So for example, if you go to the US, we give you about 1,200 euros so that you can pay at least your flight ticket and something more maybe. And you go at the partner university and you don't pay fees.
Yeah.
no, you know.
You pay only in the FOSCARI University.
Yes,
It's
yes.
very lower
Yeah,
than the other
yeah.
university. That's
And
the
this is
advantage.
very good, especially with some partners like in the US, in Japan, where you know
The
fees
tuition
are-
is very high.
Tuition cannot be Oh, now that you mentioned that, you know why it's only 2,000 euros per year? And because maybe if in your understanding this is very cheap, you know, because compared to the UK, the US, to Japan, this is very cheap. Because in Europe, the higher education system is highly subsidized by the government. Not only in Italy, also in France, in Germany, Spain, you know. Because the idea is that higher education should be open to as many students as possible. You know, that's the idea. It's how to call it?
It's privilege.
Yes, and it should not. Higher education should not be a privilege of wealthy people. Should be as much as possible open to anybody, and that's the idea, the political idea behind this. You know, so this idea translates into large amount of fundings coming from the central government in Italy, but as I said also in France and other countries, to the universities. Okay, so since we receive fundings from the university, we are able to keep tuition fees that low. But the actual cost of 1 year of tuition fees in our university is about 15,000 euros. But as I said, we are able to keep that, not to ask so much money, but to ask you only part of it, because we have
Supported by the
fundings
government.
from our government. So maybe this is just to let you know that it's not that we are cheap because the quality is low. We are cheap because the system works this way, differently from the UK, differently from the US and Australia and the like. So yeah. Other questions?
Yes. I want to ask about the requirement of baccalaureate degree and master. The baccalaureate degree, if I apply to your school, has like the score, specific score, like maximum, the GPA, and
We don't ask for GPA.
Okay.
It's gonna look very good if you put that on your CV, on your on the information that you're gonna send us through the application system. So if you have a good GPA, make sure that you mention that in your somewhere in the application system. But that's not a requirement. Okay.
So at least I have baccalaureate degree.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to translate in Italian if I apply for Italian course?
No, English would be enough. I mean, I think in Ho Chi Minh they don't ask for Italian translation.
No, they don't. They translate just into English.
English is gonna be fine. One thing I forgot to tell you is that if you're studying in English, you need to learn. You need to prove that you know English only. But if you study Italian, you need to prove that you know Italian as well as English. Okay?
Yeah.
And there's a reason why we ask the students to, because English, and all the students must get a degree from the university, but at the same time be able to speak and understand and read English, because we want our students to be very good and very well prepared for the job market. And that's why we ask our students to have a B1 level of English if they're studying Italian. If the degree program they choose is taught in Italian, we also ask them to know English at the B1 level for bachelor degrees and B2 level for master degrees. But this certificate could be given also later on at our university. So if you begin your studies in September, you can give this second language certificate before the end of the year, before December 31st. Okay? Again, this is only for those students applying for an Italian taught degree program. Okay? If you apply for an English taught, you just need to prove that you know English. You have a B2 of English or equivalent. Yeah.
Because I'm a fresh graduate from Italian linguistics and literature of the university, so I don't have the B2 level of Italian, but I
Okay.
have the bachelor degree. So is it okay for me?
No, I'm sorry, but you need to get the certificate.
Yes. In the consulate Italian. No.
Yeah, because here in Ho Chi Minh there is no way to get.
Usually they have to make some online course, Italian online course from Perugia University or
Yeah.
some Siena
Oh,
University.
One thing I forgot to mention is that from this year, we university
Also you can do it.
we are allowed to set up
Organize.
like online tests and things like that. So what I think that we could do is
To certificate
a
also.
Skype
to get-
interview to check your language level, Italian language level. Okay.
So I can either attend an online test or maybe a Skype.
Yeah, this is something new from our government. You know, they just told us a few days ago. So it's either you have the first option is you get a certificate here in Vietnam, and that's the safest way. The second option is you we set up a language test or a Skype interview. Okay. And the fourth option is you do the language test while you are in Italy. This is obviously more risky, so to speak, because maybe you come to Italy, I don't know your level of Italian of course, but if you come to Italy and then you don't pass the test, that's going to be a problem for you. You know, you need to come back and you have wasted money, you know, and time. So my advice is to get first option, that's the safest, to get the B2 level of English certificate in Vietnam. And second option is to to let Blue Galaxy know is
Closed. There's no one in the office in August.
Yes.
All in Italy is stopped and closed.
Yeah.
Every office.
So consider also this when you're applying. And again, my advice for you is to apply as soon as you can. Anyway, before the end of this month, you know. Also because there's one more reason, because here, I mean, applying for the visa here in Ho Chi Minh and in Vietnam in general is not as easy as in other countries, because they're gonna check many different information, documentation and everything. So the earlier you start preparing also for the visa application process, the better. Okay?
Regarding to the regional scholarship, if for the student want to get a scholarship prior to go to Italy to study, and how about the process and the application, the document, and what we have to prepare in advance?
It works like this. The application for the regional scholarship can be done only in September when you are already in Italy, when you are already in Venice. So there is no way to know before coming whether you have the scholarship or not. Okay. So once you are in Italy in September, we have an office dealing especially with this scholarship application, and they will help you to prepare all the documentation required to get that scholarship. So what you would need especially, it's, I don't know whether it's easy or not to get it in Vietnam, but it's your family income, declaration of your family income. But be aware of the fact that if your family income is too low and you declare that before to the consulate, you might have a problem in getting the study visa. Okay, so don't. Well, if it's too low, they don't give you the study visa. If it's good,
too high, you don't get the scholarship from the result.
yeah.
So usually we make two documentations. We present two income in the family, and when we present to the other side, we get
aware
off one.
that then the regional government is going to check with the consulate or with the embassy.
Yeah.
So if you told the embassy that your income is 500 euros per month, then you cannot tell the regional government that it is zero. That the family income is zero.
Yeah.
So usually they check. It's not always the case, but this is just to give you some tips. Actually,
What would happen if we fail the scholarship?
You have to pay. You have to pay. Only the tuition ways you can get free, and for living and other accommodation, other things you have to pay yourself.
Is there any backup plan?
no. So I mean, you will know is whether you have the tuition fee waiver or not before coming to Italy. Okay, and you can decide on that basis. But you cannot expect to come to Italy and for sure to have the regional government scholarship. No. You need to be prepared to come and pay for your accommodation and everything. And then if you get the scholarship,
it's better.
But if you don't, you need...
Is there any funding other resources to have to fund your study?
No. No.
So what is the requirement if I want to apply for 100 scholarship in this university?
The requirements is, okay, we are going to evaluate your applications based on your background, based on your if you have any work experience, language skills, many different things based on your CV, motivation letter, these kind of things. So, but that's our decision, which is different from the regional government.
Yeah, but I want to ask to prepare to apply for this scholarship in your school. I didn't ask for
No, I know, but I just want to make clear that this is different, So we have some criteria, and they have some other criteria, and probably the two kind of criteria do not match. That's it.
If I got a bachelor degree in English, so do I need to submit IELTS? So
Yeah. You need to have IELTS 5.0, 5.5.
but I found in the website if I got a bachelor degree in English, so I await IELTS.
Oh yeah, you still need to provide an English language certificate because your school is not in an English-speaking country, and your degree was not entirely taught in English. It was partly in Vietnamese and partly in English, right? Entirely in English?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in that case, you don't need to.
No, it's easy for him to get also the IOA or something like that.
Still, it's going to be very easy for you to, but you need to make sure that you have a certificate stating that your school, your university, your degree program was taught entirely in English.
Yeah. Cioè prova a presentare tutta la documentazione dell'università che dove hanno studiato interamente in inglese è una cosa e l'altra, tanto vale che lui ha la capacità va a fare il certificato.
Quello è meglio, quello è meglio. Any other question?
He has the flights now for that. We have